nobody is half as good at making me laugh as Tyrion is.
Theon Greyjoy can kick rocks. He really can.
I forgot about Miss Khaleesi.
Hello, my name is Ashley Hannah. Thanks for being here. And today we are doing a reading vlog for A Clash of Kings. Pay no attention to the tabs. We're trying to pretend I haven't read this yet. I was not actually going to be reading this one quite so soon, but a couple people in my last video ended up asking, hey, or just one I think, asking, hey, are you ever gonna read the next one? And I was like, heard. Yeah. I probably should. So I thought, let's do it now. And luckily enough, I didn't even buy this copy. I was talking to my dad one day and I was like, oh man, I wish I had a copy of the second book so I could read it right now because I really want to. And I promise you I was not fishing for him to buy me a copy, but lo and behold, the next day he bought me this. It was like, here you go, baby. And I was like, thanks. So yeah, I decided it was time to read it. I have a copy. I also have a copy of the third book, so we're gonna get to that one eventually, sometime this year, baby. And yeah, what I knew before going into this one was, of course, what happened in the first book. So if you haven't read the first book, see ya, I'm about to spoil some things. End of first book, we had a bunch of things happening. Robert Baratheon was killed by a boar, you know. Ned Stark, dead. Arya, on the run. Sansa, taken by Cersei. Jaime, taken by, what's her name? Catelyn. Robb is the new, like, King of the North because of his daddy being done. And, oh yeah, Daenerys birthed 3 dragons. You know? So a lot happened in that book. I was quite convinced I wouldn't be able to remember it, but I did watch my video, so I caught myself up a little bit. And then I jumped right into this one. And yeah. So there's gonna be spoilers for this one if you didn't know. And I think that's it. I think we're gonna just hop into the video and go through the reading of this chunky boy, where we will continue to fight over this throne. And let's be real, I read this for Tyrion Lannister, so we're gonna see a lot of that in this video. So let's just jump right in, shall we? We shall. Like and subscribe.
Okay, so I'm still in the prologue. It like 13 pages in, truly. And I just have to say that George R.R. Martin is just funny the way he describes everyone in this story. Like, he's describing Lady Selyse, who is Robert Baratheon's brother's wife, so Stannis. And she just comes into the room, and George describes her as tall as her husband, thin of body and thin of face, with prominent ears, a sharp nose, and the faintest hint of a mustache on her upper lip. She plucked it daily and cursed it regularly, yet it never failed to return. It's just those descriptions that get me. Yes, we're with my girl. My girl. Okay, I have read the prologue. Yes, just the prologue. And my thoughts are as follows. I thought I wasn't going to remember anything because it's been a while since I read the first book, but I actually did kind of pick up on who people were. And we didn't have that many people in this prologue. It was just Stannis Baratheon, and we're in his court, and basically he wants the throne, because who doesn't want the throne? And his maester that's been with him forever, who basically thinks of him as a father, he thinks of Stannis as a son. He wants to counsel Stannis to make ties and connections and, you know, be nicer than killing people off. And Stannis's wife, Selyse, is like, no, we just need to kill your brother, take back the throne, and, you know, believe in the red woman. because there's this red woman who's just like, I don't know what's up with her yet, but her name is Melisandre. I don't know how to say that. And she is telling everybody about a new kind of religion, and that's apparently forbidden. So, but yeah, all that Maester Crescent wants is for them to make some ties and for his daughter, Shireen, to marry John Arryn's son, the weird little boy that breastfeeds till the age of like 6. That's the thing I remember from the book 1. So, yeah. Oh, and then I forgot to say what actually happened. So at the end of the prologue, Crescent decides to poison the red woman, and somehow, I think, what was it? It was during something, I don't know. She, sleight of hand, I don't know what happened with her, but basically she switched the goblets, and so Crescent drinks the goblet with the poisoned wine, with the thing that strangles you from the inside out, and he dies. And that's our prologue, and now we're with Arya, and I cannot wait. I am in a glorious Tyrion chapter, the first Tyrion chapter we have, and nobody is half as good at making me laugh as Tyrion is. Like, he will poke fun at anything. He's poking fun at Cersei and the fact that, you know, she been kissing her brother for a long time and having kids with him, and he's just poking fun at that. So there was a line in here in this chapter that actually made me go it made me actually laugh, and I shocked myself. So yeah, I love, like, I still love Tyrion, and that will never change. Something I'm noticing that I'm loving right now, like, that has nothing to do with the characters or anything, is that in every chapter for each different character, we're getting a very nice and very natural here's what happened in the last book kind of a thing. Because I was concerned that I wouldn't remember, and quite frankly, I don't remember everything. I remember the important bits, but I don't remember lots of little plot points. But it's just happening so organically and naturally that the characters are talking about what happened in the last book. So if you're wondering if you're gonna be able to fall right back into it, you're gonna have no problem. It's very, very easy to get back into this. And while we're talking about it right now, what's happening is that in Tyrion's chapter, this is coming after a Sansa chapter, which, you know what? I am a Sansa hater, but I'm willing to forgive and forget. Maybe just forgive. But Tyrion has come back to, if you think I know where we are with Joffrey, I do not. Winterfell? Winterfell. No, not Winterfell. Where are they? I'll put it right here. He's come back to his family's land, and he basically is saying, I'm going to be the king's, or I guess the queen's at this point, hand, because Cersei is acting as the king till Joffrey comes of age. And he is acting like he's going to be, well, he is doing this thing for Cersei, but only until he gets what he wants. And so Tyrion's just going around looking at everything going, this 13-year-old and his mama have royally screwed everything up. There's no decency around. Like, people are selling fresh rats. And he's like, it's better than a stale rat, but like, a rat? Oh, goodness. So, I have gotten to, according to Goodreads, 30% into A Clash of Kings. And what has happened so far? I feel like I haven't talked about Arya Stark at all, which is a complete miss on my part, because she's doing a lot and I'm scared for her. So she went into the Night's Watch. Yoren has taken her into it as a boy, because what's her face? Cersei is looking for her and will kill her if she gets her hands on her. So she's entered into that as a boy. Currently, I mean, honestly, I forgot the first chapter with her where she like handed this boy's butt to him on a silver platter and opened up a can of whoop, you know. And that was cool. I loved that for her. And then we had like a thing where these people on the Lannister side kind of
killed her group. So Yoren, who was the guy that was going to deliver her back to Winterfell, has died. So now I'm kind of scared for her even more. So that happened with her. Sansa, someone told me not to be a Sansa hater because they were like, she has a good arc, and I will withhold my judgment until I see it. So Sansa, and let's be real. What's his face? I want to call him Draco Malfoy. What is his name? Joffrey. Joffrey is scary. So she is under duress living as this prisoner, but like still she is to be wed to the king, the boy king. So scary for her. Who else? I feel like nothing's really happened, but stuff is happening because we're with Tyrion and he's doing things. I don't know what Tyrion's doing, and that's freaking me out because I can't tell whose side he's on. Ultimately, I think Tyrion is on Tyrion's side, which I love that for him. I love it. That's what he's allowed to do, in my opinion. He's allowed to do that. And what else? I feel like there's another perspective. Oh, we have like Davos's perspective, which kind of bores me a little bit. What else? Oh yeah, Bran is being a little boy prince, boy king, back at his estate, and trying to deal with the fact that he does not like not being able to walk, and he's having these dreams. So I don't know what's happening there. But yeah, I'll tell you if anything of note happens. So far, I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying the storytelling that Martin is employing. I like the way he tells the story. Oh, I forgot about Miss Khaleesi. Okay, Dany has just emerged from her birthing of her dragons. She came out of the fire. She got no hair. It's growing back a little bit, but she's been taking her people on a journey. And yeah, she's named her dragons. She's raising them up. I'm sorry, I just turned 12. And yeah, so I was wondering when we were going to have a perspective from Daenerys, and we have. So that has been great to see. Okay, now I think I can go back to reading. I've got to start doing something with my face for these clips. I just need to pour one out for Theon Greyjoy, kisser of sisters, or I guess groper of sisters, because I have to explain this because Theon Greyjoy was kind of boring me a little bit. No offense, Theon. No offense. But you're not like a main character for me, so I was like, So he's back with his family in his land, and he's basically like, I don't like anybody there. They don't remember him. It's been so long since he's been there, and his father basically thinks that he's more loyal to the Stark family, so he's not impressed at all. And Theon meets this woman named Esgrid. Is that her name? Don't let me lie on Theon. Yeah, Esgrid. Theon has met a woman named Esgrid, who is supposedly married to this man who makes ships. And he starts like going, "Ooh, you're kind of cute." He's like, "You got a man?" She's like, "Yeah, I got a man and a baby." He's like, "Okay." And then he puts her on his horse and they ride back to his place. And he's like, "Ooh, I think you're so cute." They don't actually kiss because later on you find out that that's actually Asha, his sister. And then he's like, "Ew." And you know what? I was kind of like, "Ooh, Theon's gonna get a little like," and then I was like, so that actually did surprise me. I was not expecting that, and I was very much so creeped out at that point. So yeah, that happened. What else has happened? Oh my gosh, my arm hurts. I have no more arm strength. Oh my gosh. So besides that, what else? Oh, so Arya has been taken as a hostage by Cersei and Tyrion's dad, Tywin Lannister. So we're fearing for her right now. And Tyrion is just like, he's ferreted out someone who has not been keeping his promises. So Maester Tyrell, I believe, just got a member of his chopped off. So that was actually really intense, and I was a little queasy afterwards. Did I still eat lunch? Yes, I did. Okay, onward. Oh my gosh, this feud between Renly and Stannis is absolutely ridiculous. It's like, oh my gosh, stop being so short-sighted. Meanwhile, what's-her-face and what's-his-face? Cersei and Tyrion had like a little party because they're like, those fools! They're fighting over there when they should be fighting us. And they haven't, like, they're like, what? They're here, but to fight each other? Brilliant. Also, I love the fact that Tyrion gave his sister diarrhea. That was absolutely hilarious. I also feel like it's going to be really bad when Shay ends up getting involved in all of this hullabaloo. I feel like that's really going to take Tyrion over the edge if that ever happens, which, knowing what I know of Martin's writing, it's gonna happen. He's gonna take her away from him. And what else is happening? I don't know, man. I'm like 45% in, and like little things are happening. It's all very subtle. Everything's so subtle right now. And I'm like, I want something. I want an explosion. I want a boom, a bang. But I know something's going to happen. I'm just waiting for it to happen. So, I look like a roadkill. Okay, one minuscule problem with this book series is that there are so many characters. And sometimes in between when we have different characters, I'll maybe forget what one character was up to the last time we saw them. So in particular, Theon Greyjoy has a chapter that I'm in right now, and he's like, what's that called when you interrogating? He's interrogating Benford Talhart, and I was like, when did we get him? I forgot since the last time we saw him, like 7 people ago. So that's the one thing I have to critique off the top of my head, is that I just have a really teeny tiny brain. My capacity for remembering is finite, you know? So that's the only thing. Other than that, really enjoying it. Love your work, George. Also, Renly has been killed. He's dead. The Shadow, which of course is that what's-her-face, that red lady, Melisandre, she has killed Renly. She did some kind of sorcery. She slit his throat, and Brienne, the woman knight, was like, oh my gosh, my baby, because she was in love with Renly. And now he's dead, which honestly, I kind of liked Renly way more than Stannis, because at least, like, Stannis was like, fine, whatever, but at least Renly was cool. He was like, it's a party over here. We have rainbow cloaks. We have rainbow nights. We're having a party, having a kiki. And what else did he do? I just want to know why he hadn't done the deed with his wife. I'm very curious about that. What's that about? Marjorie, if that's not how you say her name, doesn't matter. Yeah, so Catelyn and Brienne have fled because Renly is now dead, and what's-his-face? And that's a big no-no, because Stannis and Renly were supposed to have a whole big, like, sanctioned battle, but Stannis cheated because he's a big cheater. And he ain't got no honor. So, yeah, I will miss the, as one commenter in my other video said, the sassy Renly. I'll miss him. So a little while ago, Sansa was humiliated by little Joffrey, had melon thrown at her, and her clothes ripped off, but then Tyrion saved her. And hopefully, I think Tyrion's trying to make a match with Marjorie, Renly's ex-wife or bereaved wife, his widow, to marry her off to Joffrey so that he can get Sansa away. And I'm still not sure if he's on the side of the Starks. I think he's still on the side of Tyrion Lannister. But then with Arya, she has been... what has she been doing? Oh, so okay, I didn't mention this before because I didn't realize this was gonna be important, but when she gets captured, there's a big fire, and she saves these three prisoners that Yoren had taken with them, and she didn't have to, but she did. So, what? How do you say his name? Jakin? It starts with a J. He is the most like formidable one, and he's the one the other two are scared of. Like there was a guy with like no nose, and he's afraid of him, and Jakin is like, hey, you saved my life. That was chill. So I'm going to give you 3 wishes because I'm a genie in a bottle. And so she uses up one of her wishes with, can't remember his name at the moment, but she uses up one of her wishes with one person. And then she's like, hey, can you kill Weiss? Because he promised me a capon or some food, and he didn't give me the food, and he hit me. So please, kill him. And then she's like, I really should have asked him to kill, like, one of the actual murderers, you know, or Lord Tywin, which I don't know. Could he? I don't know that he could do that. I think there are limits to his ability. And I also wonder who the third person he's going to kill is going to be. I don't know who it's going to be. And I'm very curious. I'm like, who should it be? Honestly, she should just try for Lord Tywin, see what happens. You can either say yes or no. The moment where Melisandre and Davos are like boating to go and kill that guy, and then Melisandre basically like pops a squat and births this like demon shadow thing. It's quite the jump scare, let me tell you. And yet again, we have another good Arya section where Jaqen helps her free some of the Winterfell men from the prisons, and they use it by pouring soup onto them, boiling soup, and then killing them. And then he transformed himself because he's like, that was your last one, honey. And now there needs to be a death to me. So he like transformed himself into Valar Morghulis. And I can't wait to see when he comes back, because I'm like, clearly he is some kind of magic, like maybe a god, I don't know. But it's real cool. And I hope that she's able to call him back sometime. Obviously, probably not in this book because I'm already on page 522. So more than likely not anytime soon, but in the future. The scene with Sansa getting her period for the first time, it's such a small thing, but the fact that all it implicates, all it implies, the fact that, she's now a woman. So now there's nothing stopping them from wedding her to Prince Joffrey. And Prince Joffrey is a tyrant. Sorry, King Joffrey. King Joffrey is a tyrant. And then she has a scene with Cersei after she's tried to burn all of the evidence. And they're like, this is happening. So, the scene, great. Love the scene. It's very simple, but like packs a punch. And I also, I haven't been loving Jon's scenes because they're just kind of like, he's in the wilderness, he's climbing a mountain, but I do like that we're seeing Jon grow and kind of assert who he is as a person. And he has just, he's been told to kill like one of the wildlings on the mountain, and he refuses to do it, mostly because she's a woman. He's like, I can't do that. No. So I'm loving seeing his development to being a defender of people. Love it. Oh my gosh, the other thing, I have not, I haven't updated in a while. So Theon Greyjoy can kick rocks. He really can. He has taken Winterfell, and he's like, okay, Bran, you need to yield to me. And so he does. But then as Theon has basically been like, yay, I got the castle, he then realizes that Bran and Rickon are gone, not in their beds, and the wolves are gone too, or the dire wolves. And I also didn't mention this. So I've been slacking. Bran is like not a changeling. What is he? He can become his wolf, his dire wolf. And then like Jojen, one of those, the green, no, frogman. He's something. He is something. He was like, oh, the Jojen, he can see the future. And he's like, everything that I see is going to happen. So sorry. So he saw that Bran and Rickon are going to die. So I hope that's not the case. Really hope. And he knows that Bran has been having these dreams and that he can transform and be his wolf Summer. And yeah. Where was I going with that? Oh, so Bran and Rickon have escaped, but we don't know where they went. And I'm pretty sure they became at least Bran probably became his dire wolf, which I love for Bran because obviously he wanted to be a knight. He wanted to be able to adventure. And so if he can have that through the magic of this, then I love that for him. Also, so if you watched my first video, I was all kind of disappointed that there wasn't that much magic involved because this is a fantasy. It's like, I want some magic, baby. There's magic in this book. There is. It's happening. And one of the characters said that the magic has been, flourishing as of late. And they were like, we don't know why. And Tyrion's like, do you have any guesses? And they're like, well, they say that magic comes back and is more powerful when there are dragons. And do we know that there are dragons? Yes. We know that Miss Khaleesi has birthed 3 dragons. So there are dragons now. And Tyrion's like, have you seen a dragon as of late? No. So just get back to work. So there's more magic in this book, which I really enjoy. And I think that was all I had to say. So I'm liking this a lot. I'm at a John chapter again, so kind of snoozy, but we'll see. Oh, I was going to say that I typically do not like dragons. I'm not a fan. So the fact that I'm liking this is very telling that it's just a good story. Because, I don't know, I'd never really got the whole dragon thing. Not really. It was like, How to Train Your Dragon? No, not me. Fourth Wing? Disgusting. Anything else with a dragon in it? I'm not a fan. What can I say? Oakley dokley. I have about 120 something pages left, so I'm going to try my hardest to finish this today. The day is almost over, and I have to go to rehearsal now, so I've wasted a lot of time just, doing things, but I think that it's going to escalate because already, oh my gosh, we had a section where Catelyn was talking to Jaime, and now she knows all these things. Also, Rickon and Bran are dead? What? When did that happen? I've just started the chapter where Theon is talking about him seeing the kids dead, which makes me think, please, may they not be dead. Please. The Starks have suffered so much, honestly. So, I need to figure out what happened in that respect. And and winter's coming for realsies in my neighborhood. So hopefully we have a little snowstorm coming. And I know that snowstorms aren't cool and copacetic for everyone, but I don't want to go to work. So, and I teach kids. So if they can't go to school, I can't go to work, So I'm hoping it snows and then I can just keep reading. So if not tonight, then by tomorrow morning, I want to be done with this so I can actually put the video up, because I got things to do and books to read, even though this is going so well. Loving it. Oh my gosh, good. It's the Miller's Boys, I think. Is that what I'm reading? Am I reading right? I think I am. Hopefully, yeah. Because it says, once Reek had flayed the skin from their faces and dipped their heads in tar, it was easy to see familiar features in those misshapen lumps of rotting flesh. Okay, even though I'm still quite mad at Theon, and honestly, he's pissing me off, so I think he deserves all the terrible nightmares he's having. He had a nightmare about a woman who had 2 sets of teeth, if you know what I mean. So I think he deserves all of that. But at least he didn't kill Rickon and Bran, at least. Okay, so one, I still don't like battle scenes, even if they're, especially if they're on a ship. I hate ship battle scenes. Don't know why. Don't know why. But two, I really didn't expect for the Lannisters to not win that battle. I really thought that Tyrion was gonna like lead them to success. And I think honestly it was that wildfire that really got him. It's like, yes, it was good, but then it just caused all sorts of chaos. But at least he didn't die. Sir Mander, is that what his name was? Mandon Moore. Treasonous. Yeah, and now I'm terrified for what Sansa's gonna have to deal with. So we shall see. Especially because Cersei, in her drunken stupor while they're waiting for this outcome of the battle to finish, has said to Sansa that, honey, if we go down, you losing your head. And she's also said that she's losing her head as well. She's like, Also, it's really interesting, Cersei's whole thing, because she, of course, is the twin of Jaime, and she's basically just been jealous about his autonomy and how he doesn't have to be bought and sold like a farm animal, and he gets to live and die by the glory of battle if he wants, and she basically just wants to do that. Which, you know what? She has enough rage in her. I think she could. She very well could be a hella great knight. But it's not to be. She was just meant to be a little woman. I'm so confused. Apparently, what's-his-face, Stannis didn't win? And Renly was the one leading the charge? I don't understand. Renly died. Didn't he? Didn't he? I'm so confused. Done. I have indeed finished A Clash of Kings, and I'm a tad confused as to what happened. Not in any like substantial way, just the fact that there's so many different people trying to get the throne. Like, what the heck, man? There's like 4 kings at this point, like trying to get this Iron Throne. So let me just go back in my brain bank and find out what happened. So, first off, 4 stars. I can't give it 5 because 5 stars for me always have some kind of an aspect of emotion. I usually end up crying. That didn't happen, so, which I didn't think it would, but I can't put it on like a, oh my gosh, my favorite book of ever. I will completely acknowledge that the next book, apparently people are like, it's the best one. So I acknowledge that I could pop a tear out for Storm of Swords. But as of right now, no. So 4 stars, pretty good, pretty Gucci. So let's start with Arya. Arya is such a great character. I love that little girl. So she ends up, after she like pours the weasel soup on the people, and then the Harrenhal, is that what it's called? Harrenhal ends up being taken over by Northmen. So not Winterfell men, but like people who basically can be bought for anything. And they're just like, they're not, it's not a, she made a lateral move, honestly, but it helped her in this case. So she ends up becoming the little squire for the guy. And he's like, when they come back, I'm not going to take you with me. Sorry. Joke's on you. And so she's like, well, bump this. We're going to just leave. So she goes to Gendry. She goes to Gendry and she's like, hey, help me leave. And she goes to Hot Pie. He's like, we're going to leave this place. And they do it. They end up being able to. And she has to kill one of the guards to actually escape. And she ends up being able to do it. And she's had to do some tough stuff, which I have to commend her. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so rough for a girl of like, what, 10 or 11? So luckily she's on the move with Gendry, which I'm happy for because I really love that character as well. And then Sansa, poor baby girl. So Sansa thinks that since
the Lannisters won, she's like, okay, so I'm not going to die, clearly. Cersei can't kill me because her baby Joffrey is still alive. But what happens is that Lord Tywin comes back and he becomes the Hand. So Tyrion is no longer that. And they have a big hullabaloo, big celebration. And Cersei does honor her word with Tyrion and says that Joffrey should be wed to a family that's not treasonous. And so she's like, you're going to marry Marjorie, who was Renly's wife. And Joffrey's like, but I really think, Mother, that I should marry Sansa because, I don't want to go back on my word. And Sansa's like, please don't pick me. Pick her. And so he does. And she's like, sick. Now I don't have to, birth him any children or like even touch him. And then the guy that becomes the fool for her, his name starts with a D. Honestly, there's so many names. I can't remember any of them. So we're just going to say her, what did she, I can't remember. Her Florian? I don't know. Her Florian. There we go. He's like, oh, they're not going to let you leave, honey. I'm so sorry. You're just going to become his mistress. She's like, oh no. And so he says that he's going to get her out of there. So she's like, I'm going to believe it when I see it, which she for real should. So we let them off there. And then Jon Snow, they've been in this whole wildling thing, and it's a good thing that he did not kill Ygritte because they end up seeing each other again, and they get captured, him and Corin, I believe. And Corin's like, okay, if they catch you, don't say, like, if they catch you, say that you are yielding and you're going to go with them. And so Jon's like, I don't want to, but I guess I will. And he ends up saying that to these people, and they're like, prove it, like, kill the guy you were with. And so he ends up having to battle with Corin, and he does kill him. And so now he's off with the wildlings because apparently, like, he's somewhat related to them, I believe, if I remember correctly. That's a whole big thing. And then what else? Oh my gosh, Theon Greyjoy. Last we left, Theon is still alive, I believe, by the skin of his teeth. He got played, and what happened to him? He ended up doing something. Oh, there was a whole big kerfluffle with him. Basically, Maester Luwin was like, just go to the, take the black. Like, give up. And, nothing bad will happen. And honestly, he probably should have done that. He probably should have taken the black and just, like, lived a quieter, more, chivalrous life. But not for Theon. He wanted to be a prince. So he sent a guy to go find something. And then the guy came back and he's like, psych, I'm really this person. And basically he was like, I'm taking this place. And so they burn Winterfell. So Winterfell is no longer. And then everyone still thinks that Bran and Rickon are DEAD, but it turns out they were just in the crypt and they got away. Theon knew this, though, and he just, of course, took those kids and burnt them because they were similar in stature. But Maester Luwin knew because Maester Luwin was a real one. And honestly, I'm so sad. I'm happy that Maester Luwin knows that Bran and Rickon are alive and well, but I'm just so sad about it because he's dead. But yeah, our last Bran chapter, we have him, seeing through the eyes of Summer because he can turn into Summer, or he can't turn into her or him. Summer a girl or boy? I can't remember. He can turn into his direwolf. And, so he does this to see and like keep tabs on what's happening up above. And Maester Luwin, once they finally get everybody like up and into the real world, Maester Luwin's like, you need to take these two boys, separate them because that's the safest thing to do for the throne, for the line of succession. And yeah, the last chapter we have is like Bran taking one last look while he's riding on Hodor and being like, I'm not dead yet. There's still hope. And it's sad seeing him say goodbye to his family home, which is really sad. And oh my gosh, I love Hodor. I love that giant. Also, there are giants. giants and mammoths and whatever else. Like, there's all those things. Ergo the magic. And then what else? We have another character we have to check up on. Oh, Tyrion. Also, so I said this before. I was like, I feel like George is going to have something bad happen to Shay. Didn't happen in this book. She's fine. He actually, Cersei had thought that she found his little mistress, but it was really just one of the girls at the pleasure houses. And hopefully she's okay. I think her name was Alaya. But Shay's okay. And Shay's actually getting on my nerves. I think Tyrion could do better. But Tyrion, when he was wounded by Mandon, yes, when he was wounded by Mandon, he then gets saved by Podrick. That's not his name, I'm sorry. And he ends up coming to, and his face is all disfigured, and he's like, well, now people really have something to look at, and because he wasn't the most attractive man, but he at least could get it from some women. But I wonder what Shay's gonna think. Is Shay gonna be like, because a chunk of his nose is missing, so I'm like, is that gonna be a problem for her? Mayhaps. And yeah, he's just shocked that Lord Tywin is the hand now. And I really do think that he really thought, I can't believe he thought everything was kind of going to plan. I just wonder what the next plan of attack is for him. And that's really all that I have to say, because there was a lot in this book. I feel like, we didn't get a Catelyn chapter in the end. Really, she was just mad because she still thinks her babies are dead. Oh my gosh. Drama. But yeah, really interesting time. I'm intrigued on what's gonna happen next, because we had a little Daenerys chapter. Basically, she's just gonna ride for the Seven Kingdoms. She's just like, okay, now we have a fleet of ships. Everything's going gangbusters. I feel like the next book is probably where she will have some more page time. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm pretty sure I still missed some things because it's a lot. There's a lot in this world, and I will be looking up videos now. Now I can watch videos of this book because I didn't want to spoil myself like I did for the last book. But yeah, thank you for coming along on this journey with me. If you enjoyed watching it, give it a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys again for the next video, of which not sure what it'll be. And yeah, bye.